This is the game where we get to know our favorite voice actors as they get to know themselves. In his reading section, Scott McNeil. In his reading section, Jason Marsden. And in his reading section, Mercer. Come on up here, guys. You're going to play Know Your Role.
Bet $1.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Grego, and welcome to Know Your Role, the New York Role. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a debut game, and hopefully one that we'll do many, many times in the future. Hopefully they'll enjoy it because it's going to be the easiest game show they have ever been on. All they have to do is push a button that says me or a button that says not me. So here's the deal. First and foremost, gentlemen, thank you very much for. Oh gosh. Maybe this is going to be a more difficult game than I thought.
Let's switch buttons. That would make this very existential.
No, you don't. It doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't work that way.
There we go.
I guess we're going to be introducing you guys over the course of the game. So first and foremost, why don't I just ask you, are you happy to be here today? Yeah! You happy? One of you is going to win something for your rooting sections out there. Whoever wins this game, we choose a random person from the rooting section, and they're going to win a prize. But no matter what happens, we're going to throw candy at the rooting section of each voice actor as they know their roles. So we'll be throwing stuff, so be careful. We've got some pixie sticks and lollipops here, so hopefully we won't put anyone's eye out. All right, so let me show you what it looks like. Actors, if you look to your left over there, this is what it looks like. When you think that the role is you push the button that's marked me, and it'll look like this. Just like that. That means I think that is a voice that I provided somewhere over the years. And we're only doing your voice roles, not your live action roles. So if you are absolutely stone cold certain that it is not you, you'll push not me, and it'll look like this. And that is what that's like. Now, each clue starts off very general and then gets very specific, but the points go down. We're going to start each of you off with 100 points, as you see there.
Yeah!
Yeah, so there you go.
That's the highest you'll ever see.
Now, if you are correct in determining whether the role is yours or not yours, we will add the value of the question to your score.
I knew it was going to be math.
Well, I do all the math. Okay. If you are incorrect and you say that you either are or not the role, and if you're wrong, we subtract it from your score. So, in round 2, there'll be a way to catch up if you happen to fall behind. So, whoever is in the lead at the end of our game will win a prize for a random member of their rooting section. And also, folks, this game is being played for charity. So during the commercial breaks, we're going to be collecting donations for the Red Cross, and the proceeds will be going to the recovery effort in Nepal. That is the AkaiCon charity. And we may have a prize. Yeah. And we may have a prize, depending on how things go, for the most generous rooting section. So I almost said looting section there.
It is after all.
Yar! All right, are we ready to play this game, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay, so be ready on the buzzers. If you are certain that this is you or not you, push the button. Otherwise, wait and we move on to another clue. All right, so without any further ado, here is the first clue that will lead you to one of your roles.
Okay.
You don't know yet. Here we go. For 50 points, I was born of royal blood. Scott McNeil says that is definitely not me. All right. All right, so for 40 points, if I were to name my favorite 80s rock ballad, I'd say it would be Something to Believe In by Poison.
We're talking characters,
We're
right?
talking characters. Yes. The things in quotation marks are clues that will lead you to this role. All right? For 30 points. Each morning, I thank the fates for my awakening. Oh, all right. Well, there we go. Everyone is in. All right, so let's move on. What will the 20-point clue have been? Good Lord. Actually, the best Lord. And the final clue for 10 points. Someday Nintendo might even make me playable. So, all right, everyone is in. Let's see if everyone is correct. Audience, do you know who this is? Yeah. Let's see if you're right too. We were looking for CHROM from Fire Emblem, and that is Matt Mercer's character. All the actors are correct. So, let's credit those scores. Scott, you were correct in assuming that that was not you, so we will give you 50 points. In round 2, you can double that up to 100 points. Jason, you were also correct, so we will add 30 points to your score, bringing you up to 130 points. And Matt, you were right in guessing that that was you, so you also earned 30 points, and you are tied with Jason at 130 points. Now, here we go. Speaking of video games, now Matt, you can lead this off, but any of our actors can just give me their opinions on this. Each of you have done a lot of video game voiceover. How does it differ from voiceover for traditional animation? Want to feel that?
It hurts.
That's a lot. And the scripts aren't this big.
Yeah.
Harder work. Yeah, much more harder work. And they do an animated cartoon, and they book you for 4 hours. And depending on the show and the director, you can be in and out in a half hour, a couple hours. So you work the entire time in video games. And you're by yourself, usually.
Yeah. And when you see that Excel spreadsheet on the screen scroll for 2 or 3 hours, your eyes start getting a little funny.
Now, in certain circumstances, I think all of you have voiced, have you all voiced at least one character in, the same character in both the animation and the video game for the animation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, want to talk about which roles were the best to do that? Or, yeah, for example, yeah.
The one was the dinosaur. Never wake up with the embarrassments of morning lips. They did Dynasty Warriors, which was sort of an amalgamation of a Gundam universe.
Right.
I actually really dug that because it was, 20 years later, it was like, maybe you still sound like your old man. I will make you disperse. And so that was kind of fun because I just got to step back into the role, but I realized after coming to the convention it was actually really cool.
The game was pretty good.
Minimum amount of screaming green.
Well, cool. Well, that's how this game works. You guys will get to field an interesting question based on each role that we have for there. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a commercial break and hopefully get some charity out of this audience. We'll be back to finish up round 1 for Know Your Role. Stay tuned, you two audience. All right, welcome back to Know Your Role here at AkaiCon. We are in the middle of round 1, and right now Scott McNeil has a 20-point lead over Jason Marsden and Matt Mercer. So let's see what happens now as we go into our second question. So here we go. Fingers on buzzers, players. Here comes the first clue. For 50 points. I just ooze confidence. Step on me and I might ooze something else. All right, Jason. Now you don't have to push me yet, Scott. You can have another clue if you want to make sure, or 2 or 3 or 4. Let's see for 40 points. My partner is always playing follow the leader.
You mean life partner?
It just says my partner. So let's see what happens for 30 points. If you break it, I can build it back up. For 20 points.
I'm feeling a lot of pressure.
For 20 points. Some would say I am a very hard worker.
You know, the law of averages says
All right, let's see what the 10-point clue would have been. What else, Earl?
That still means nothing. I'm going, all right, 33.3% chance that I'm correct.
All right, well, let's see who that role belonged to. There it is, Berrykin Ed from Strawberry Shortcake, Vinny Berry Adventures, and it was in fact Scott McNeil. There you are, well done.
To do drama.
So once again,
It's hard to remember the cute characters.
everyone is correct, which means that Scott, you earned 20 points for that, up to 170 points. Well done. Jason, you were correct at 50, so you're up to 180. And Matt, you also earned 50 for that, and you are at 180. So, here's the follow-up question for that one. And this is actually a pretty good question. I know, I know, Jason, you have a child, so this ties in really well. How important is good children's television programming these days?
How important is it?
How important is it? This
It's important.
Yeah. And all of you, well, I know Scott's been in a lot of stuff that's shown up, and you as well, Jason. So what are some of the kid shows that you've done?
Well, I'm currently working on a show called Transformers Rescue Bots.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a Transformers franchise for the 6-12 market. I work on Doc McStuffins. You can't get more way to go.
He was a cute little cuddly bear. I forget his name, but he was cute and cuddly.
But yeah, at some point it's more important than bad children's television. You know, like educational television?
Anything that's good for the young people these days.
Yeah, I said my piece.
Well, but you know, I grew up in this sort of concept that all cartoons, the best cartoons are the ones that are for kids but are not written for kids.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, this is what makes it work. But yeah, I mean, I've done Grumpy Bear and Care Bears, which was fun because that's about a bunch of, bears with mood disorders and tattoos. Grumpy Bear. And plus, Grumpy got to swear a lot, so I thought.
I never saw those episodes. I saw him on Robot Chicken a little bit later.
That's always the subtext. And of course, the seminal role of Barry Connect. A life-changing experience watching.
I think there's something to be said too about children's entertainment that isn't afraid to tackle, issues that, even some of the darker issues. I feel that if you coddle youth too much, they won't be prepared for the harsh realities of the world as they get older. I think there's shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender that, skew younger, but still tackle, conflicts and the ideas of mortality to an extent. Things that I think are important at a certain age that children should be getting more comfortable with the idea of, as opposed to being like, oh, you're 18, you don't know what the world's like. Have fun.
I was the very first character to ever out and out die, as opposed to, I'm feeling fine. I feel like dancing on G.I. Joe. And it was an arc we did where actually one of my other characters became addicted to Spark. And then I also played this character, I think he was the head man. He was the purveyor and provider of this. And of course, this came about and it was dealing with addiction, and in the end, he was buried in a mountain of his own product and basically OD'd on his end. The last shot was his hand, and they went, remember, drugs kill. And that was a big deal because you had never been allowed to actually insinuate that the character had died or been killed.
It's a little more heavy than Children's All-Stars to the Rescue.
Yeah, in 1988, I was fortunate I worked in a cartoon called Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue. It was the first time, I think the last time they did this. Well, they didn't have all these networks they do now.
Yeah.
But it aired on all 3 major networks, ABC, CBS, NBC. It was a half hour and it had all the Saturday morning cartoon characters, Muppet Babies, Alvin the Chipmunks, Ninja Turtles. And I played this little dude who was on drugs, and George C. Scott played Smoke.
Yeah.
And it was there. It was. Was
you the kid?
Yeah.
I knew we were going to be talking about this, so that role's not going to be in the game. So I had a feeling that was going to come up during this question, but yeah. So there you go.
Jason.
Wow.
Yes.
So we're having fun. So there we go. Shall we have some more fun?
Let's have some more fun.
So right now, Jason and Matt's teams are in the lead by 10, which means right now Candy is being thrown at these routing sections during the next commercial
Not
break.
gonna
Let's
mention
see what happens. All right, let's clear everything off and let's move on to the next roll. Here we go. Here is the 50-point clue. Forget about it.
You can't do this again.
Someone's going to be losing some points, so let's see what the rest of the clues look like. For 40 points, you might say I was involved in a black tie affair. For 30 points, after I died, there was a Jaws sequel. For 20 points, Hansel and Gretel is the worst fairy tale ever. For 10 points, this will be the one that gives this one away, I think. I wasn't a creature, but I was in Black Lagoon. Scott has worked out the puzzle. It was VERROCCHIO. VERROCCHIO from Black Lagoon was the role. So I guess you guys are going to field this question first.
You know what threw me? Because we had just finished talking about children's programming.
Mr. Right.
From the Forbidden Word Vault on that show. I had to look them up. Sorry.
It's okay. We'll have a chance to catch up. Let's do the scores real quick. Unfortunately, Scott, you were incorrect on that one, so we've got to take 50 points away. Jason and Matt were both correct, so that's 50 points for Jason's section, 50 points for So the question has nothing to do with bad language, but it does have to do with language. Guys, what are your favorite accents to do?
Favorite accent?
Yeah, what are your favorite accents?
Whoa. I like to do Australian. It's one of my favorites. And Sam Neill, from Jurassic Park, he explained on the Tonight Show how to do a perfect Australian accent. He said, first, you gotta close your, squint your eyes because Australia, the sun is really bright. And then you gotta clench your teeth together so the flies don't get in your mouth. And that's how you do an Australian accent. Which is also the accent I love to do, but I never book.
Australian accent, oddly enough. I am Australian. So there's one more trick.
But
If you see an actor from Northern Queensland, where I'm from, every single statement is a question.
yeah.
Oh, and why?
You show up to, because there's different accents for different regions, just like in the South.
Okay, it's a huge country.
Can you give like a couple of different regions?
I could do that with any other country in the world. Except my own. Again.
No, sorry. Do you have a favorite accent you like to do?
Oh, we have to go to the Scots Grove. Scotland is my favourite.
It's not a place to call it.
It's nice. It sounds fun. It
rolls in the mouth, I like it.
You know what's an interesting accent? I've said that, I mean, there's some parts of some South African accents that are tricky.
Yeah,
Especially like, Johannesburg, like an Afrikaans, you just gonna say Frans. But Welsh, especially if it's sort of a more rural, because the Welsh accent is very lyrical. It bounces and bumps, and it's so, and this happened to a friend of mine on stage, 3 weeks into a run, the last night of the play she was doing, she's playing this wonderful Welsh character, and all you got to do is make one tiny shift. I'm telling you, I'm working in the coal mines in the country, it's very difficult.
It's like the South African can switch to Irish.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to do it as somebody, and accents is what I study and do. I do a lot of accents, and I like to be very specific on it. But there's this one I go, you have to know word for word, like single word. That one to me sounds pure, like Australian or Kiwi. That one's got the Danish spin on it. And it's like, I'm going, you need the full lexicon. This word is in this language, this word is in this. Syllable is actually, for some reason, done in Portuguese, which is a difficult accent. It's weird. It's just a weird accent.
Well, there you go. So we look at the scores again, and we see Jason and Matt are still in the lead, but that's okay, because we're moving right on to our final question in round 1.
Does it go as fast? I'm just asking.
So here we go. For the final question in round 1.
I'm sorry!
Here's your first clue. This is for the 50-point clue. The only fighters greater than me are myself and I. For 40 points. I've got no soul to sell. At least not anymore. Jason says, not me. For 30 points. Here, lizard, lizard, lizard. Oh wait, that's me. Max says, not me. Scott says, that's me. All right. For 20 points.
I'm being railroaded.
That was some damn good soup. And finally, the 10-pointer. I think it's time for a showdown. Any ideas who this might be, guys? Oh, yeah, I think Jason's figured it out. Let's reveal it. Chase Young from Showdown.
We're not the worst!
Scott, you're also incorrect because you said that was you.
It's important to be good at something. And we are so good at sucking.
The specific reason we went with this character for you, Jason, one of my really good friends is an artist by the name of Amelie Belcher. You love Amelie, yes. When I was telling her about this game that you would be on it, she's like, oh my God, you have to do Chase Young. That's my favorite character that he's done. Oh my God, he's my favorite. So you have to do that. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
But I don't recognize anything in all the questions that you put up there.
Because
You should have said something like Shendong Wu or something like the lizard. I forgot that I turned into a lizard.
Well,
I didn't voice it, but he turns into a lizard.
and he trades the soul for the soup that gives him the
I don't pay
ability.
attention to the story. Bullshit timeline.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's see what that does with the scores. Unfortunately, Scott, you said that was you, and it wasn't, so you're down to 90 points.
I was doing math!
Jason, unfortunately, that was you when you said that it wasn't, so you're down to 190. Matt, you were once again correct with the not me, so you're now up to 260 points. So, question, guys, and this is a fun one, I think.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
Who do you prefer to voice, the heroes or the villains?
There's more dialogue, more colorful dialogue. It's just fun.
You get to choose the scenery.
Yeah.
Whereas when I do not identify as villain, when I do just confuse.
What's your favorite villains that you played over the years?
Oh man.
I had a bunch. Chases. It was pretty awesome.
Well, that's okay. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to throw candy at Matt Mercer's section, and we're going to take a break. But when we come into round 2, this game is not over yet because players can play for double the points or lose everything in one fell swoop. We'll see what happens right after this. Stay tuned. We are back to the debut of Know Your Role here at AkaiCon. This is the double or nothing round. Now, in front of our voice actors, we have some jokers.
Are you some kind of a joker?
Yes. Now, here's how the joker works in this round. When I show you a clue, if you are absolutely, positively, beyond the shadow of a doubt certain that it is you or not you, you may play the joker once this round, and if you are correct, we'll give you double the points. All right? If you play the joker and you are incorrect, however, you drop to 0. This is a double or nothing. So use it wisely, and because of that, this is still anybody's game. Now, when we hear this sound, That means that we had a problem. No, that means that the game is over, and whoever is in the lead at that point will win a prize for a member of their rooting section. All right? So, here we go. Fingers on buzzers, actors.
You guys, we got this.
Remember, use your joker as you push your button. Just hold up the joker, yell at the microphone. I'm using my joker on this one. All right. Here we go. First clue in round 2 for 50 points. I wander around the world from Kiev to Carolina for 40 points. Having a daughter can be challenging when folks are trying to kill me. Oh, and the jokers are in play. All right.
Like I should.
Are you playing your joker yet, or are you going to hang on to it?
I'm hanging on.
You're hanging on to your joker. All right, so everyone is in. Let's see what the rest of the clues were for this one. For 30 points, surely you don't expect me to believe you're a vampire. For 20 points, just let me whip out my trusty saber. And for 10 points, know how much I believe in fate? 0. I wonder, who could this possibly be? Yeah, it's KIRITSUGU, EMIYA, played by Matt Mercer in Fate 0. Which means that everybody was correct, and Scott and Jason are earning double points because they used their joker. Yeah, you get one joker. So Scott, we first add the 40, then we add another 40, so that takes you up to 170 points now. Jason,
Still the worst.
Jason, we take you up to there and up to an additional 40 points, so you now stand at 270. And Matt, you are also correct, so you are now up to 300 points. All right, so here's the follow-up for this one, and this is, I know Matt has probably fielded something like this before, and perhaps the other two. So Fate 0, Type Moon in general, has a very, very rabid fan base. How do you guys, have you ever been approached by someone who is just so into the fan base that you provided a role for, that you were just like, wow? And what sort of reaction do you have when there's a fan that's just so into the thing that you do?
Yeah.
Legally not allowed to comment. No, it's amazing. There have been many people that are just, so engrossed with the story, and for many people that, and this is what I like about storytelling. We are part of the storytelling engine that is the entertainment industry. Is to inspire other people, and there are people that really, because some of them, these stories are life-changing in some way or another, whether it be a hard circumstance they're in, or they themselves were trying to discover something about themselves. I know there are many stories, cartoons, video games, books that I read and were part of growing up that made me who I am today. So it's really cool to even be part of something that could make somebody else hopefully a better person. I think it's really cool.
Anything to add to that, guys?
I worked on a film called The Goofy Movie.
Yeah, just like that, come to the Powerline concert.
And, say again? Be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I'm trying, man. It's a cool outfit, I guess. No weapon.
Where's it?
But I get so many people come up to me saying, like, thank you. I mean, that movie, I bonded with my parents or with my father over this. And me and my dad love to watch this movie. Me and I bond with my family because of this. And you forget that these aren't just, what we do is not providing a means of escape and entertainment, but it penetrates your heart somewhere, and that just blows my mind. So that always feels good when you're part of a project that ends up being something like that. Because I definitely have projects that I watch that impact me like that.
Yeah.
Turn me into wine.
It can be really overwhelming sometimes. Because we go in, we're doing our thing, I can talk, it's full of it, oh my goodness, what a lovely job. I've had stories related to me at conventions that have shattered me and amazed me, and like crushed and humbled me. And it's, and you go on, dude, it was just, I'm just doing this stuff, but people, in the way that the characters have allowed people to deal with consequences in life, have somehow shaped decisions. I had a dude, this is really quite weird, brought me sort of one of those, Middle Eastern head wrap things. And he had come back, he'd served, and he brought me this. And I'm like, can he pull this out of that guy? And he goes, actually, it was my best friend who did not come back from overseas. And he wanted you to have this because it was watching Gundam Wing and Duo Maxwell that gave him the direction and the strength. And I'm just going, I have that thing sitting in my office, and I'm like, and we kind of go like, wow, what we do can have an impact. And it's I mean, mostly it's fun, but it has, and people, who've gone through, end of life experiences, siblings, or, they went, the last 6 months of his life, he was in watching, a show that you were involved in allowed him to progress through. Yeah, it's just like, what?
Well said. Well said. Very well said. Well, that was a pretty good question, I guess. So, all right. So, looking at the scores now, again, Matt, you still have your joker. So, if you play it and you're wrong, this game isn't over. So,
essentially, if we kill off Mercer, we're fine. It's not personal.
All right, let us progress. We have some more time. Let's move on to another one. Here we go. Fingers on buzzers. For 50 points. I created the spotlight. Everything's about me. For 40 points. A meteor might have killed the dinosaurs, but one certainly did me a favor. Aha, everyone is in.
Do I get more points if I guess who the character is?
What do you think it is right now?
Danger Duck.
All right, you think it's Danger Duck. I won't give you more points for it, but it will. Let's see if you're right on that.
I thought you were.
Okay.
Correct me this time.
For 30 points, I wanted to be a lifeguard.
Yeah.
For 20 points, I hang out with rabbits and other animals. And for 10 points, what do you do when you're in danger? Duck. So yes, you are in
Danger, I can't even spell the word danger.
All right, so everyone was correct. So that's 40 more points for Scott McNeil. 40 points for Jason Marsden, 40 points for Matt Mercer. So, on this question, you guys are free to go, you know what, I don't like that question. Let's talk about something else instead.
Now we can.
On this one. So, as I'm sure a lot of us are well aware, Lunatics Unleashed wasn't really as popular as other WB cartoons. How do you react when fandom isn't particularly keen about something that you are very proud of what you did?
I can get bummed out, of course, because for me, it's like, I'm sure you guys too, but like, you have a really good time working on this project. You work with a bunch of great people, and there's lightning in the bottle, and you just want to keep doing it forever, right? And then, if it doesn't sell toys or doesn't get ratings, then that fun has to stop. That's the bummer.
Yeah. Anybody in the entertainment industry, I think, even somebody, say you take a movie star, and you go like, oh my God, it was starred this and this and this, and if you go and research, it's like, he actually did like 80 other movies too. I've done like 13,000 episodes of various cartoons over the years, and you're kind of known for certain ones. The other ones I did the thing, Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars. And we thought that one was cool as hell. Like, we really thought that was a cool show, and it was supposed to go 65 episodes, and there were still people that could watch it. It's really quite weird.
I have toys in the garage somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I do. That was one of the first action figures I ever got. So it's really hard to predict when you're inside. It's nice when the synergy really works, and you're like, you kind of go, I think this is a good one. Like, I think this is going to be cool, and actually, and that's, it turns out that people do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've done stuff that I thought was like, wow, suddenly became hard.
Yeah.
We're not good predictors.
It's all the list.
Yeah, and there's many reasons why a show can fail. Sometimes it's not popular, sometimes the toys don't sell, sometimes it's just internal company politics.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can really do to control that. But, yeah, and the new Thundercats was such a big project.
Yeah, I love that show.
The quality of it was great. The cast was phenomenal. It was my first time working with Andre Romano, and we were all just like, got greenlit for a second season. And then right before we started recording, agreement got pulled away, and the show just went away. And that was more of a political thing going on, I guess, within the company, but there's nothing you can really do about it at that point.
I got a fun story that kind of ties into that. So this was a dream for me because I grew up watching Transformers and G.I. Joe, and I landed the voice of Duke in the reboot they did, G.I. Joe Renegades, for a new network called the Hub. And Hub was controlled by Hasbro, and it was a big launch. You know, G.I. Joe is a huge franchise. And man, I'm thrilled to be part of this. And we had a great cast, a great creative team. It was an awesome show. And in the middle of production, I hang out with my buddy Will Friedle, who's working on Thundercats. And we go to have lunch. He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry about G.I. Joe." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "I heard you guys didn't get picked up." I'm like, "We're still recording. We haven't even aired yet." We were doomed before we even hit the air because of, I don't even know what, the political, because there was the live action movies coming out. Our storyline kind of paralleled their storyline. I don't know, but I should have known when we got our Christmas card from the Hub, and they were like, "You're introducing every new show, My Little Pony, Transformers." No, G.I. Joe. Should have known then.
Yeah, that's...
The other side is sometimes we have to, like, you know, when we started doing My Little Ponies. Yeah, we thought, I mean, we've done Discovery, Shark Tank, and you know, we sort of revisited a lot of those older series, older franchises. And then all of a sudden, whoa, you know, ponies and bronies and stuff, oh my. Traveling sailors, ponies, non-right. It's just like, you know, so we're still kind of all gobsmacked going, hell no!
Yeah, you just pack stuff under it.
But we absolutely do. It's like, you know what, this is good. This is not just kind of a rehash. When we do it on Beast Wars too, that was like, this is something very cool. And, you know, of course, when the first aired, it's not Gen, wait a minute.
You know, a lot more intricate storylines than there ever were in Generation 1.
Yeah.
So. And then it was cool how it all kind of tied back and they kept doing callbacks and everything. It was really cool. All right, so we've got time, it looks like, for one more. So let's see how things go. All right, fingers on buzzers, players, here we go. For 50 points.
Which one's the block Matt Mercer button?
It's he grabbed the Joker and hold it up in front of him as he pushes the button and hope for the best. Here we go. For 50 points. If I ask her enough times, eventually she'll say yes. And there's the Joker. Okay, so I think Scott has a sneaking suspicion that he knows who this is.
No, I suspect that I just completely aired.
Well, let's see what happens. And if you were, well, let's see what happens.
I'm taking a risk.
For 40 points. These things in my legs are really starting to itch. For 30 points. Favorite Duran Duran song? Hungry Like the Wolf. For 20 points. Now, if only I could get that mutt out of the picture. And the 10-point question was, don't you ever make her cry, Yasha. You were exactly right, Scott. It was Koga from Yasha. There you go.
My bitch. That's legitimate cadence speak, okay? Kennel Club endorses that.
Let's do the follow-up question before we finish the scoring aspect on this. And this may be a cool question. I'm not sure. I thought it was when I wrote it. Tell me about the first time you saw or heard yourself on television and what that was like.
The trauma therein.
I was 12 years old. First cartoon I did was Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears. Which I watched anyway, and I told the story already, but I replaced the boy who originated the role because he gone through his puberty, his voice changed, and they didn't want...
We went through 4 Enzos on reboot. It was like, oh crap, we're gonna next.
So I watched it on Saturday mornings anyway, and then like I'm tuning in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my episode. That's me, and like then it was like, is that what I sound like? And but that's me, and I'm in a cartoon. It's a whole like trauma, elation, excitement period in a sense.
It's a bit surreal.
Yeah.
Especially in live action, you kind of, you sit there and go, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Weird. But cartoons, you kind of like, the first thing I did was the New Adventures of He-Man. Way back. And it was like, watching that, it was very cool because, I'm still going, okay, I'm watching a cartoon, which is kind of okay and cool, but I know that I'm in it, it still freaks me out. I can't play World of Warcraft anymore. It's too weird.
And I think it's a part of that that never really goes away. It diminishes over time, definitely. But there's that
Medication.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time there's that initial excitement of like, oh my god, I'm in this thing. Did for me at least, it went to, okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, I could have said that better. Oh, everyone else sounds so much better than me. Are they gonna keep me? Oh no. And yeah, the insecurity kicks in, you can't really help that, especially for your first time. But yeah, it's a very strange experience, and for a person that grew up, surrounded by cartoons and video games, it's also a dream come true. So, and I'm sorry, I have to say, did you play on Reboot?
On Reboot, I was hacked. Hey, you're proud to see that I was hacked. Hey, where's the button? And Specky Bino and Mr. Andrew, I was actually fax modem on the X-Files. That's what we did.
That is awesome.
That was a tribute.
I'm looking out on the panel about another panelist. Sorry.
I almost made hack one of the characters because between that and then the Digimon, the first clue was going to be I'm a virtual character, and that might have been, maybe on a future show, guys. But speaking of, let's do the scores real quick and then go up the final 50 points all the way around, except Matt played his Joker, which means he is going to earn an additional 50 points, and that means the time is up, and the runner is not apparently I need to fix the button. So there you go. Matt Mercer is the winner. I need to edit my software. But congratulations, Matt. You have won Know Your Role. Well done. Which means that someone from Matt Mercer's section at random is going to win a prize. We're going to find that out. We're going to do one more round of donations, and the actors are going to throw candy at their own rooting sections. We'll be right back to finish this off right after this.
Be warned.
We are back. Did we have a good time on the very first Know Your Role? So, I tell you what, I've got a nice number here. Guys, over the course of this show, we pulled in almost $270 for the American in the fall. And looking at the numbers, well, looks like we're going to have a double prize to give away because the section that donated the most is Matt Mercer's section. But here's the deal. Everybody's going to win. I'm going to give a prize also to Jason's section and to Scott McNeil's section. Oh, there we are. As far as the prize support goes, one random person from each of the three sections is going to get themselves a 3-month subscription to the Crunchyroll online player to watch all the anime, all of the drama, read all of the manga. One person from each section is going to get one of those. And one lucky person from Matt Mercer's section is going to win free admission to next year's AkaiCon. Thank you so much for your generosity, and thank you so much to Scott McNeil, Jason Marsden, Matt Mercer. Thank you for your time.
Fantastic host tonight.
Thanks, guys. I am Virgo. YouTube, subscribe, like, do all that wonderful stuff, and this is the last show I have. I have a feedback panel coming up at 4 o'clock over in panel room 4. Come and let me know how I did. Until next time, this is Grego from Know Your Role. Bye for now.